All right, so I've knitted down to 3 stitches before the first marker, and what I'm going to do there is I'm going to knit 2 together and knit 1. Slip my marker, and then I'm going to knit across. Now, you notice there's this bit of a gap right here. I want to kind of close. It's like the gap you get when you have the underarm of your sleeves when you make a sweater. I want to try closing that gap up. So what I'm going to do is when I knit into the next stitch, I'm going to give it a real tug. And that's going to make this stitch real big, but it's going to close that gap. Then when I go into the next stitch, I'm going to give it a tug. And that's going to make this stitch smaller, but then this one is bigger. But I'm going to keep giving a bit of a tug as I work my way across about 3 or 4, maybe even 5 stitches. And I've worked that little bit of an excess yarn into these stitches so I don't have a great big opening there. You will still have a bit of an opening, and there's a couple things we can do to fix that, but that's just the nature of going from one direction to the other direction. We'll talk about that when we talk about finishing our socks. So now I'm just going to knit across. Now basically what I'm doing is knitting to the middle of the top of my sock. And now I'm at the midway point of the sock. So what I'm going to do now is turn my work, slide my front needle in, make sure my yarn is between the 2 needles, pull the back needle out, and now I'm going to work until I get to that marker here. All right, so for my pattern right now, I'm just going to knit. And for most of you, you're just going to knit. Now, unfortunately, because of the nature of the beast here, I have this big gap. But part of why I have that big gap is because this is where I changed my colors. So what I'm going to do is very much what I do when I make a sweater is I'm going to take this little thread when the sock is all done, and I'm going to use that to close up that opening that's there. All right, so I knit to my marker. I'm going to slip my marker. And then the next thing I'm going to do is knit 1 and knit 2 together. So I'm going to knit 1. And again, I will pull that thread a little bit, knit 1. Then I'm going to do an SSK. And then I'm going to knit to the end of that round, which means I'm basically just going to knit till I get to the middle of my heel. All right? Let me just stop here. So I'm going to knit till I get to the middle of my heel. The next round is just knitting all the way around. The third round is going to be this decrease round again. So let's finish this round and let's do a knit round, and then I'll come back when we're ready to do the next decrease.